Bandito Radio 112 FM, a streaming radio station for all toy enthusiasts, collectors, photographers, and customizers. Built to match your mood and passion. Music from hip-hop to country and all the rock in between with host Howlin' Jim Jackson. For a dose of the macabre, there's Myra's Morgue of Midnight Madness, featuring old-time radio dramas and Action Figure Frequencies, a radio podcast about all aspects of toys and toy collecting with your hosts, SKN's own Chet Maddox and Alexander Storm. Bandito Radio 112 FM. Available to stream now on Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to your Friday Night Lights, the most fantastic show of the weekend. To kick it off here, we want to welcome everybody. We have Rad driving because Spectrum sucks, but we have a great show for you. We are bringing the absolute purest form of sex appeal to you on Friday night. I'm your lovely, gorgeous, sexy host, as always, Chet Maddox, along with the fabulous, funkadelic Rad driving. How are you doing tonight, Rad?
I'm good, man. I feel like John Wick, although I don't have the car. But I'm driving like John Wick, if that counts.
Hey, whatever works, man. Along with Rad, we have the ever handsome, sexy, gorgeous Dr. Brentley. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing very well.
I see you brought a lot of sexy tonight, so I'm going to have a problem with that later. And then, as always, rocking in thunder, bringing the lightning, and always showering your asses with the best show on Friday night. Mr. Alexander Storm, you sexy beast. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing good, brother. Doing good.
Okay. Well, hey, look. Just when you thought it was out of range, it sounds like Power Rangers might be getting a reboot, but we're not sure because we're focusing too much on dancing recently with the ballerina, and who knows what happened with Daredevil. I mean, do we like it? Do we not like it? How many episodes are we in? We'll find out. And you're here, so we're here. And with all that being said, this is Pixel Plastic Inc. Man, that was a great intro. I wonder who did that.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Just nailed the crap out of that. So we have a lot we got to talk about. We want to get into it as soon as possible. But fellas, how have you felt about all of the news lately that's been going on in the not only movie world, right? We have some things that happen in there, but some comic stuff and some toy news. How are we feeling? Open topics right now.
Well, we have another satisfied Spectrum customer with crooked smiles.
Oh, we do. Yeah, we do. Get it, Crooked.
I have to admit, there was no Spectrum internet issue. I'm on my way to midnight screening of Snow White. Hell yes.
Yeah,
Hell
getting
yes.
it. Yeah, you get. Hey, here's a problem with that is it doesn't look like your daughter's in the car.
Yeah. All right, back to you.
All right,
She had no interest in it.
Yeah,
It's all
Mr.
right.
Storm. How have you
Hey,
been?
I got the theater all to myself, and that's what's the most important thing.
Yeah, and you will nonstop. So
Most def. No, man, doing good, man. A lot of great stuff this week. Actually, kind of cool. I know we're getting in our preparation. We got the Toy Atlanta countdown, so it makes everything here at the network crazy. And if you think that we're running around, all the guys behind the scenes are really running around. So we appreciate everybody busting their butts all over the other place. So looking forward to getting out there and setting the toy industry on fire.
I do have a question about Toy Atlanta. How big of a bag should I pack for all the toys and shit I'm coming home with? That's the big question.
Lucky for you, you don't actually have to pack that big of a bag because my truck will handle all of it coming back.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if we have to, we'll get a trailer, man.
Yeah, U-Hauls. You could do one-way U-Hauls for like $70, dude. We got the trailer.
We got it.
They haven't yet to see the SKN Airstream arriving shortly, folks. Arriving shortly.
It's gonna pop. It's gonna pop. All right. Well, we got some stuff that we need to get into tonight. That is extremely important.
Is it more important than Popeye the Slayer Man, though?
It is not more important than Popeye the Slayer Man, but I mean, I'm not surprised based on who is actually.
Yeah.
So, Crooked Smiles bringing it in with KS Collectibles.
Not the night on fire.
Mr. Storm, I am going to allow you this one time. No, allow is that's the wrong terminology. Why don't you kick off our topics for the evening, sir? Because a lot of work has gone into it, and I know your brain has been going wild with information. So let's bounce into it.
Putting on the pressure a little too much for that, aren't you?
Well,
because it literally hasn't been, but okay. No, we've got the Ballerina. If everyone saw the final actual trailer for the Ballerina dropped, had a little bit more hidden little jewels in there that we had seen before. Look, this is what we were talking about, I think, a couple of weeks ago, that there was like no real expectation of build up at the moment. It kind of like went a little silent. Then just when we thought something wasn't happening, yet again, they started kicking it in. And look, the trailer looks fantastic. And if John Wick's in this for only 5 minutes, I'll be shocked because it doesn't look like it's just a brief cameo. It looks like he there's a good point. Maybe maybe middle second act or something, Dr. Brentley, you think he's popping in?
Actually, I think this is probably more towards the end where, I think it would be like a typical Marvel fight where at first they meet and they're adversaries, but then something happens and they have to team up to, get to the actual bad guy. Because I don't see them as hating each other and trying to kill each other through the whole movie. I think by the end, there will be some sort of, friendship or at least a truce,
Okay. Brad, what do you think?
Dude, I was so excited about this trailer. And when we talked about it, I was like, okay, like some of the other stuff in the Wick universe has been all right outside of the John Wick movies. But as soon as I saw the showdown, man, take my money and then some. I am stoked to see it, man.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. Mr. Storm, what do you think about the actress they picked to run Ballerina?
Very good actress. I've seen her in several other films. One with Ben Affleck that was extremely well. Look, she can act. The whole part is did she put in the dedication like Keanu Reeves did in learning all the different skills, especially because Keanu Reeves looks like he's like technically a real armed assassin. Like I could truly believe that he could do the things he does. She's got to bring that. Now, I know they're running with the director of Underworld. So
Yep.
is he up? Is he up? Because the guy, he has a good movie, and then it's like off the rails. So I don't think it's so much about her acting. I think this direction of this has to go perfectly because we saw that Continental on Peacock, and that wasn't a good representation of the John Wick universe.
Yeah, I think what he is probably bringing to it is he's going to mimic the style of the
Mhm.
previous John Wick films.
Yeah.
And he's a good director, good at catching visuals, but sometimes some of his movies are just bad. So, you hope that the script is okay. And yeah, Ana de Armas, she was great in No Time to Die, the
Yep.
last James Bond movie. She
Yeah.
had one of the better scenes with James Bond in that. So I know she's up to the task of it. And I think the smartest thing they did in this marketing is it looks just like another John Wick movie. It's got the same feel to it. It's got the same font to it. It's everything. If it had said John Wick 5, we all would have said, okay, that tracks, so they know what they're doing and how to sell it. And I don't know. It looks really good.
What do you think about
Yeah.
Norman Reedus in the film? That was a little. I knew he was in it, but
Yeah.
I always picture him as freaking Daryl Dixon, and he always looks the same. They never make him look different. So it's hard
Yeah.
for me to get over like the Walking Dead look.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you a little bit on that, but also too, he's also in
I know what you're talking about.
Stranding, the video game. So there's it gets to be a little challenging, but I do can constantly not because he was such a big part in The Walking Dead. I think that it's really hard to break him of that.
And see, I always see him in Boondock Saints.
Yes,
So
exactly.
that's where I envision him from every time I see him. So even though he's in The Walking Dead, he has a longer role, obviously. But when it knows if he can do the action, if he can come up, if he can be a little bit unpredictable, a little crazy, I think about his Boondock Saint role.
Yeah. Do you think about his Boondock Saints 2 role?
Hey, as worse as the film was, it got a second film. And for the whole thing, have you ever seen the whole campaign about the original film? You're shocked that there was ever a second film to it.
Yeah, that is one of the biggest reasons why I am thankful for Blockbuster is that film.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I think I'm interested to see what role he plays.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
so we're saying Norman Reedus has had the same haircut for 25 years.
More.
That's what I think we've come to the conclusion.
Yes. Yeah.
You find something that works, you stick with it.
Yep, absolutely. So, hey man, I think that they've got a good combination. They built excitement. That's the one thing the trailer's supposed to do. It's got some competition going up this whole summer. This is gonna be like when they say like the make or break summer, this is truly a make or break summer. I think Lionsgate needs this to be a hit because Lionsgate is like 1 to 2 films away from bye. There's no more Lionsgate. Disney needs Fantastic Four to make it a big time leap for that universe. And DC's banking everything on Superman. So I would not want to be an executive or a screenwriter this summer, thank God.
Yeah, you're very right about that. Like so many companies, it's like, oh, we've screwed up the last few years.
Yeah.
And this is like, yeah, it's the make or break. If this summer is like last summer where there was only one or two like hits and everything else underperformed, the movie business is in some trouble, and they're going to have to do some soul searching and also some belt tightening, which they're starting to do. But some people like Netflix apparently just giving money to people and don't care if they get a movie or a TV show out of it.
Yeah, well, that's Netflix. Bringing off that WWE money. That's coming in.
Not for long.
Yeah, so desperately. All right. Well,
No.
like I said again, other than everyone else in the group and everything, we're all thinking that this is probably a hit for Lionsgate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
think
only the first one I didn't see in a theater, but I've seen John Wick 2 through 4 in theaters, and I can't wait. I will go to a theater to see this one.
Yeah. Rad.
Yeah.
well, I said it before. Let me see Jackie Chan cameo at the end of this film. The essence. We need a Jackie Chan showdown with John Wick, Ballerina, or something. Please,
Yeah, well, got a point about that. Jackie Chan could light it up.
What I got from that as Rad is driving through the Tron universe is that he wants Jackie Chan to to show up in this, and I do too as well, and Dolph Lundgren and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and also
That's just the Expendables.
oh, okay, my bad.
And Crooked Smiles is giving us just a little things. I mean, they only paid WWE $9 billion. Who cares if they only other programs suck? They don't need the money. Yeah, you got a point about that, but we'll see how that works itself out. So, from the ballerina that everyone's anticipating to something that look, did it hurt us? Did it make us actually not want to watch the next episode, or was it the actual appearance that we wanted in Daredevil Born Again episode 4? We got to see Matt Murdock and Frank Castle reignite, and even though it was a brief scene, I will tell you it was very intense, very exciting. And I was like, even though you didn't get to see him in the costume or anything else like that, and yes, I'm ruining it for you. You didn't get to see him in the costume, but like both actors flat out are some of the best. Well, actually, I'm sorry, between Vincent, John, and Charlie, this is the best trio of actors I think any show could have on television, man. Because like, wow, it is amazing.
Yeah, this scene was some of the best acting I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And I was like on the verge of tears by the end of this scene. There's a great turn in it, and it's just like two guys at the top of their game going toe to toe. Amazing.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are like, oh, why aren't they doing superhero stuff? It's like, no. We got that at the beginning. Matt is going through his crisis right now, but at the end of this episode, he's starting to pick it back up again. So I think we'll start to see Daredevil come out for the rest of the show, and I can't wait. This is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, look it. I was watching this, and I think that one of the problems I had with the last episode was like kind of like the pace of it.
Mhm.
And this one, when it first started, I was like, okay, are we on the same pace, or what are they doing? And then this whole scene between Punisher, I mean, it was like I was like, this is it's pretty intense, man. And I would say it's more intense than a lot of the fight scenes, because it's just like you see that like that let's just say he hits a note with Daredevil, and it really, the way that they led up to this scene was phenomenal.
Yeah. No, I agree. Rad. We're talking about Daredevil Born Again, episode 4. Frank Castle, and he might be gone.
Not interested.
Southern California traffic, ladies and gentlemen. Must be on the 405. Rad, can you hear us, brother? Yeah. Well, he's still trying to get everything going. Well,
Sorry,
yeah, we'll just have to pop in with you. But yeah, man, no, I wasn't I know that there's a long game that they always have to play with these shows. I think they did a really good job with this episode. I think it met the expectation. I don't necessarily need to see Frank Castle, first of all, in the Punisher user form blazing up, because we do know that there's, I believe, 10 or 12 episodes. So there's gonna be an uptick to when we'll see him full blown. But the two characters, to see Frank Castle is kind of like struggling a little bit, and also to have Matt Murdock in the same way, different kind of spectrums, yet they met together. Like, yeah, agree with Dr. Brentley. I think it was probably one of the best written, face to face, I would say, probably since Al Pacino, Robert De Niro sat in that diner in Heat.
Yeah,
Actually,
I
yeah,
mean,
that's a
that's
good
the
point.
level they're on. And even stuff I was interested in about Matt doing his lawyer stuff.
Hmm.
And I didn't necessarily agree with the concept of the guy that, I'm just stealing because they don't leave me any other choice. But it was a good story, just sort of, this is the stuff that a lawyer has to deal with. And it does thematically all work together in the story they're telling. Um, I don't know. They made the right decision to scrap whatever the hell they had before and start over, because this is great.
Yeah, and just like that scene you were talking about, I think what it did was it they wanted, these are street level characters. And usually we see crimes of, like, the non-street level, like, status that they had. This was a petty crime. He's an attorney, and it showed the mindset. So it was good writing in it, because of the fact is that normally these are the glanced over kind of things that superheroes don't get involved in. You don't get to see that kind of thing. But he is he's a defender, and he's going to have the opportunity to sit there and have some client that is basically a penny ante nickel kind of scenario that's passed through the system. He was able to get that, and I think they did a very good light of, like, when he comes back and he tells him good news for you, and then this guy's still unsatisfied, and it's like that's the life of any kind of, a public defender, whether it's a private defender. It's not a good job. It's not a glamorous job.
And
You know?
not the kind of thing you see on like a Law and Order episode,
Yeah,
right? Like they
exactly.
always do like the very big and serious cases. No, this
Hmm.
is what most of the system deals with,
Hmm.
is people doing small petty stuff that they were caught for. And it's very interesting. And they're doing a great job.
Yep. Yep. Uh,
Rad, do you have any thoughts on it?
Nah, man, John Bernthal's the fucking greatest Punisher ever, and that's the that 5 minute scene with that dialogue was some of the best I've ever seen in any Marvel
Yeah.
movie, TV show. Those two are just like gold together, and I just continue that. I want to see more of that. I hope it's just like not limited, that we see
Yeah.
him pop up again with his revenge. But holy shit, it was literally on the edge of my seat, and I just wanted more, man. So John Bernthal's the goat for sure.
Do you
Absolutely.
believe that Punisher needs a haircut though? Because that is something that Richard is saying in the comments.
I love that he's like kind of disheveled and not shaved and all that stuff, man. He's living down in where the hell he was. Like I like that look, man. He's a little crazy, taking some pills. That's how I want my Punisher, man.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
little out of control.
Mhm.
Just giving
Yeah.
an old nod to Punisher Warzone, huh?
Didn't it seem like that? And Rat hit it on the head though. This is, and if without a shadow of a doubt, this is the best on-screen Punisher performance ever. And look, Dolph Lundgren, God bless him. Thomas Jane, need to forget about it. And then, Ray Stevenson, that was a low point. Fortunately, he's not around, but that was a low point in the entire franchise. This is just such a dramatic turn that if you've ever read any of the Punisher comics, the War Journal, the War Zone, or any kind of the back issues of the Punisher, this was him, and they
Yeah.
captured him fantastic, man.
The
And
Yeah, it was
best
great.
thing when he says, "But he got life." Yeah, that is. And what about Foggy? He get life? Oh
Yeah.
man, I was like,
Yeah.
such great writing.
Insane.
Yeah.
Such great writing.
that was intense.
Yeah.
That was
And
intense.
it was, he wasn't going to come back from that first version that they did. He was like, no thanks, that's not the Punisher that I was doing, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
This, it's like, oh yeah, I'll come back for this.
Mhm.
And that just gives me so much hope for the Punisher special
Yes.
that they're going to do. And he is part of the writing team on it as well. So I cannot wait. I think that this is going to be the Punisher thing that everyone who has liked the character is waiting for.
Yeah.
And let's not forget too, because there's a lot of talk about Punisher. The slow buildup of like, is Kingpin really evil? Like for
Dude.
like I was like, where are they going with Kingpin? Like, has he
Yeah.
turned the corner? He's like, I'm the mayor now. And then the scene at the end too, you're like,
Yeah.
okay. Like it's so like this whole episode was just great because it like catapulted, like obviously we're gonna see Daredevil and his revenge story. We introduced Punisher, and then clearly Kingpin's like, oh yeah, he's still a badass. He's still evil.
That end scene, I was like, wait, who is that? And then I was like, oh crap, that's that person. And then I was like, okay, what are they doing now? And I was just like, this is
And the way
this is so
the way he eats too, like is so great. He's just like taking small bites of like his and while some guys just locked in a cage.
The main thing I got was we see him eating twice so far, which is just his one asparagus and an omelet, right? Just very simple, nice.
That's right.
When he's doing his bad stuff, he's got 4 sausages and a ton of ziti, and he's going to town on it. It's like, okay, so this is a different guy. He's got his different things. And from the very first episode, they showed him like his hands were punched, he was punching something or somebody. We didn't know what it was. They saved it. Every episode he was like fixing his knuckles. And now we see what was actually going on. Great stuff.
Yeah. I think like Rap was saying, it reminded me of again, when you have good writing, you see it paralleled.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like Training Day, where you kind of liked them because, the kid was like, look, I messed up. And you thought, okay, something bad's going to happen to this kid. And then it's just a complete shift and a change. And then he goes, okay, well, maybe he has learned a little bit. And then it dove back in. So it's the writing has been just up there. And you're right, Dr. Brentley. Whatever they were going to do the first time around, thank God somebody came to their senses, because this is probably the best Disney Plus series I think I've seen so far out of any of the Marvel stuff.
Yeah. I'm totally in on it. And it was, even for like Winter Soldier and Falcon, right? That was a little tough to get through the whole thing. Some of these shows, it's not that they're slow, it's just I'm not that interested. This, I'm fully in.
Yeah. I think you asked. I don't think you came down here to check on me. I think you asked for permission. That's what you asked. I love it, man.
Yeah.
Like, did Tarantino write this dialogue? Like, whoever wrote this episode, give him a Marvel series.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they slowly ratchet that up. And from the level of Born Again, we jump into the last and final main topic, but not of the show. And if you listened this far, you're actually on it. We see everybody that's on X. Thanks everyone for tuning in over at Twitch. All our people that's watching over at Rumble and everything. Hey, make sure that you're subscribing to the Shadowless Network. And, we do this every Friday night. And we also have another live stream on Wednesdays. We'll move it over to Disney Plus and the Power Rangers. I didn't think I would ever put this in the same sentence, Disney and the Power Rangers, yet here we are. Chet and I over at Action Figure Frequencies on Bandito Radio 112 FM, we were talking about what happened to Power Ranger toys, and that was a big thing. They were dominated the 90s and a little bit of the early 2000s, and they just seemed to just disappear. Now it seems like they're trying to go back to that Go Power Rangers for Disney Plus now. So first of all, did anybody watch the Power Rangers show coming up? Because that was a little bit out of my range. I saw it and I was a little bit too old at the time and it didn't gel. But Brad, Chet,
I watched. It was my on and off again show that I watched. I always thought it was a little too much because I think I just learned how they made it too early on as a child. But I enjoyed it. I mean, it was great. I feel bad for everybody that didn't want the license to make the toys because now that Disney's going to throw their money behind it, the people with the license to make the toys,
well, I think it's Playmates now because we were talking about that. Playmates is making
it is Playmates.
Yeah.
Brad, did you watch it?
I mean, I saw some, but I was probably too old when it first came out, and then obviously they had so many different versions, and at that point I was hooked on different things. I do remember though, like the Green Ranger was cool, right? And I know the original obviously he's passed away. Jason, I forget his last name, but like a true martial artist and stuff. So like the look was cool. Like it was like kind of Voltron-esque mixed with like Godzilla. It was like, I get how it really caught on, but I never really got into the lore. I couldn't tell you really any of the backstory there. But hey, it's cool that they're, Disney's going to be repopping this a bit, and maybe it sparks new eyes on the franchise. But definitely not something I followed, and I don't think I've ever owned an action figure from the Power Ranger line.
Yeah, I had two young sisters when this was coming up, and their favorite shows were Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers.
There you
go. And I was working at Toys R Us at the time and couldn't get a damn Power Ranger thing because they'd come in and people would go crazy and go out, fights in the store, whatever. And then when I was working at the trailer house, we did the trailer for Power Rangers Turbo, the sequel, which was not very good.
What hits me is I will say the Power Ranger movie that they had put out in theaters, that was better than I thought it was going to be, because I thought, okay, they're going to cheese this up and they're going to use like found footage crap and they're just going to, but actually I was surprised that actually was better than I anticipated.
Yeah, I think this is the take that Disney needs to do on this. I think they need to look at what the movie was doing and do a continuation of the movie and level it up, meaning like don't make the suits shiny, don't do any of that stuff, make them gritty, make it like matte colors, like just make it very like what the movie was getting ready to do as like a Disney show. And I guarantee you it'll blow up again because people will be like, oh, this is like a grown ass version of Power Rangers, right? And then it's just money. It's money because you'll get all the people that watched the show before getting everyone else to watch it because like, oh, go check this out. And then you watch it and it's like, if you just recreate what they did with the first Power Rangers movie, just make it a little bit better, not a lot, because the first Power Rangers movie, regardless what you think about it, it's a good storytelling on trying to explain what happened and how they got there. And I think that it leaves open a big spot to continue that. And so I think they could be smart with it. But if they reboot it and they just do the same thing they did before, which is finding some untouched Japanese like monster fighting TV show and intercut it with American actors inside of a cheesy coffee shop that's really the Peach Pit that they just rebranded, and then it's just like, I don't want to watch it. I'm good. I don't need it.
Well, hear me out here. How about you get the Godzilla -1 director?
Exactly.
The franchise.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Okay.
Exactly.
And you don't do it cheesy. You do it crazy serious. Like maybe it's the new, like don't appeal to kids, but make it like update the suits a bit, keep it still a little classic, and they're fighting like real legit Godzilla, like like you got CGI now. I would be into that. I think they didn't they do like a YouTube
it was like a fan film that did like a YouTube thing, I believe, and they kind of cut it in a way they filmed it as if it were more serious.
I
So
have to
I
see
think
that.
that would be cool. At the end of the day, I know the damn song.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
even if I
everybody
didn't
knows the
watch the
song.
series, right?
Yeah.
Like we all know it. So
Oh yeah. Yeah.
you
It
know when
plays.
that
Power
song hits.
Rangers. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Exactly.
All
Doesn't
right.
matter if
And
it's dinosaurs, spaceships, cars, whatever, anything. They maybe the reason why the show actually hasn't been around is they ran out of things for these guys to do because they had been everywhere.
but yeah, I think it's the right thing. It's like a little bit of nostalgia. You get
Yeah.
the original people that watched it, and now they are grown up. Like my sister has 2 kids now, and they're just at the right age, like 5 and 3.
Mm.
So they would get into it if they watched it with their mom. And, that's exactly what you want to do as a family franchise.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, from there, like I said, we are running in again. If you haven't done it already, Mr. Maddox has a special promotion this month for our subscribe button, right, Mr. Maddox?
Yeah, you actually get a $5 gift card to your favorite super subs, who is a sponsor of Action Figure Frequency. And then also I'm covering the cost of all the subscriptions on X and Rumble and everything else. So just either follow, subscribe, whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna pay for all the free subscriptions I give out anyways.
There you go. And like I said, we are jumping off of that subject matter, and this is always a portion of the show that we know. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It is time for SKN News. That is right. From our world to your world, this is SKN News. And we got some stuff going. Starfleet Academy. Now, here's the thing that I will say for this is that I am a little bit worried about this, but to boldly go in a completely different direction. Starfleet Academy has basically, while there are still a lot of unknowns about Starfleet Academy, we know all of season 1 has been filmed, which is kind of cool. So, it's nice to know that. And also that we know the cast. We know some of the details recently spilled by Star Trek actor slash director Jonathan Frakes. Also, Riker. If you didn't watch the Next Generation or any of the points, but you should have been. Starfleet Academy is set in the 32nd century after most of the events of Star Trek Discovery, because of the burn, the catastrophic event that made warp travel impossible. There hasn't been a new class of Starfleet candidates in over a century. The new candidates we meet in Star Trek Starfleet Academy will be the first ones in a long time. This series will also follow the trials of candidates as they learn how to be officers. And since it is filmed, there's a good expectation that it will be popping in at the end of this year or early 2026. Again, my just quite thoughts on this is it had me worried that when they said off of the Discovery, because the tail end of Discovery was probably some of the worst Star Trek next to when we saw Section 31. So, anybody looking forward to Starfleet Academy?
No,
No.
but I will say that they've got some great actors. So I'm hopefully optimistic. There's like Holly Hunter is in this, Paul Giamatti. So it's like, okay, so they actually spent some money getting some good actors, but the problem is what they have to read. And that has been the trouble with Discovery. There, except for Strange New Worlds, the reboot of the Star Trek universe has not been very good.
I can't argue with that. Mr. Maddox, did you what's going on, Travis Mitchell? How's it going, guys? Going good, sir. Going good.
What's up, Travis? What do I think about this?
Yes. And did you watch, first of all, hold on. Did you watch Discovery? Have you seen any of the Discovery episodes or Strange New World, or are you just still just, the the 90s to early 2000s version of Star Trek? So what's your point of reference? Last, did you watch any new series?
Lower Deck.
Okay, well then, yeah, then you're in the right universe. So okay, all right, you got it.
Yeah, so I like it. I'm hoping they do a lot more scenes from the Death Star. But I think that the Starfleet Academy will produce some really good Siths, and hopefully they can have the Klingons take out the Borgs. So look, hey, I'm all about it. I think it's a different one. I'm with Dr. Brentley here. Real talk, where they do have some power behind it. Paul Giamatti, I think the last thing I remember him doing was Rhino. So that's probably didn't cost him very much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, hey, look, if it's done right, it's done right. And I'm excited for something. This is new, right? Like, yes, you're using Star Trek, and that's going to be, it's still, but it's in the universe, and it's a part of the universe that we don't get to see, which I think is what everyone wants, right? Is like, just show us something we don't see. Like, it was like when Star Wars, when they announced Rogue One, and then you went and saw it and was like, yeah, that's exactly what I want. It's an espionage film just based in Star Wars. I get it.
Yeah. Paul Giamatti did that great holdover movies.
Okay, well, I stand corrected. The last thing I saw,
yeah,
was Rhino.
Okay, yeah, actually, you know what? I haven't seen that. That's going to make me want to check that out, actually. Rad, any of the new Star Trek viewing have you been doing over the last couple of years?
I'm gonna say in the words of the famous Randy Jackson from American Idol, it's gonna be a no for me, dog.
That's about the only famous words that Randy Jackson has.
It's those only words.
And the look, I like you. But no for me.
Yeah.
No, that's a pretty good one. Well, like I said again, I always I love whenever we get a chance to see something new. I do think that the Secret Hideout, there was a report that when Skydance was getting ready to do the merger with Paramount, they had had an independent auditor come in and do an assessment of things. And also Travis Mitchell said, I've seen a couple of Next Generation episodes and Generations, and that's it, huh? So yeah, like Randy, Travis also is a no dog.
Yeah.
I will tell you, Travis, if you're not watching Strange New Worlds, though, that is an uptick. It is a much better franchise defining show compared to Discovery and everything else. Just FYI. Go ahead, Rad. Sorry for interrupting.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, I would love to. Like, I hope to Dr. Brantley's point. I hope it's good, right? Like, I think, I've been waiting for. I haven't seen all the Star Trek stuff, so I'm just teasing on but I have watched several things, and obviously the movies, and not as deep into the lore as some of you gentlemen. But they need an Andor. Like they need a series like that will be separate, like where it's like feels a little bit outside the universe but still connected, that's more serious, and like maybe this is it. I don't know, but like I think
no, this is not it.
Okay, so then but so they need that though. That's what I'm saying is like Andor attract a different audience that wasn't like all about Star Wars, but it was like, oh, it's Star Wars, but like this is completely different. And the way that Rogue One did, although Rogue One was definitely more Star Wars-ish, Star Trek needs that. And I don't know what vehicle that's going to be, but if they're going to hook in more folks that are outside of Star Trek universe, they need to think in that way. And it sounds like this isn't going to be it.
Yeah, no. I again, well, as I was saying, they did assessment Skydance when they were first getting to do the merger, or actually the proposal to buy Paramount. And the independent auditor said, he said, what should we do with Star Trek? And they said, the best thing you can do is shelf it and get rid of Secret Hideout and let 3 or 4 years go, and then try to reboot it up with different producers and everything else. So their basic assessment is, what do you think about the Star Trek franchise? Just let go. Just reboot, start from the beginning. So that might be a good indication of what we think about this. But also we can tease this right here, right now, because we do have confirmation on this. If like we have brother channels that we do in the Starlek Digest podcast, one of the best damn Star Wars YouTube channels. they actually there's been a challenge put up, and the challenge that was put up is that myself and Dr. Brentley will be representing Star Trek, and Scott Solo and Darth Moocher will be representing Star Wars, and it will be a debate that will take place on both channels: Star Trek versus Star Wars. And Chet, can you let them know what the actual debate series title is called?
Yeah, that's right, Mr. Alexander Storm. And you'll learn more from Action Figure Frequencies on Bandito Radio 112 FM if you tune in there, plus on Toy Box Chronicles. But the name of the show is actually going to be Wars Talk. And it's going to be a series show that I will be hosting, and I will be the moderator between the two, because unlike Dr. Brentley and Mr. Storm, and unlike Moocher and Solo, I love both franchises, but I don't know either one better than the other. And so I'm going to be sitting in the middle, and I'm actually coming up with everything, and nobody is going to see it. That means that Dr. Brentley and Storm, you will not see it. And Solo and Moocher will not see it either. And it will be a live answer them as you hear them debates. But stay tuned for more, because as we get closer, you'll start to see everything pop up on our channel. You'll see trailers for it. You'll see the movie posters for it. You'll see everything. I'm really excited. It is a bit out, though. It is going to be a little bit out. So it's not like it's happening soon, but we just want to let everyone know that it's going to. And I do want to mention, though, that Travis said maybe a Borg centric about how their origins. I would watch that.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah, I would too, Travis. And I can just tell you, I will tell my friends, I will throw a subtle shot over the side of the Death Star. We've got our phasers on kill.
Watch out.
Uh-oh.
Like I said, I'm on Buck Rogers' side. Ooh.
Well, see,
Not
see
the
Right.
Joe
Buck
Jordan.
Rogers versus Battlestar Galactica.
I was gonna
One
say
season.
Yes,
That's the next episode.
That's the next one.
Yes.
No, it's got to be. It's got to be Battlestar
Unfortunately, 5 people
Galactica.
watched Buck Rogers though.
No, it's got to be Battlestar Galactica versus Starship Troopers.
That's an interesting one too. It's an interesting one too. But yeah, Buck Rogers. So now if they're doing 80s for 80s, well, they like, so I think Buck Rogers had 2 seasons. Battlestar Galactica had 1. So I don't know.
Well, unless you count Galactica 1980, then they had 2 seasons.
Oh, we just started something here on the network. We just started something here. Well, from there, we're going to move into our next story tonight and everything. It's about a dragon, giant lizard.
I'm not sure where you guys got the sound of my mom waking up in the morning, but I'm really upset about that.
Technically, wait a minute. Wrong. Wait, hold on. Let me get Travis. A Borg series is with them resurrecting Kirk like the novels after generations. Well, you know what? Actually,
I like how Travis is like a holdout, because he's like, oh, I didn't watch anything, but then also I read every novel known to man, and so it doesn't matter.
And then I saw Patty. Let me see. Throw that comment back up, chat. Yeah, can't wait for that Star Trek. There you go. There you go. There's some dedicated fans out here. There's some dedicated fans. But like you saw, our first giant lizard was introducing one because he was pissed off that his crowdfunding kick thing didn't go through. Sorry, Godzilla. You need better people behind the scenes. But the fine folks over at the Four Horsemen have an actual announcement to make. That's right. The fruit. Now I'm going to call it this, and I know Chet and I we proclaimed that on Toy Box Chronicles. The future Grail got funded. And that's our prediction. This is going to be a Grail. And again, I'm not going to actually bastardize the name of this dragon because I have
Bayathir, I believe. Bayathir.
Yeah,
that is right. That is right, Dr. Brantley, the dragon expert.
They should have just called him like Steve or something.
Well, yeah, Elliot. Pete's dragon was named Elliot. That's easy.
Yeah, actually, Dr. Brentley is the Dragon Whisperer. Wow. Yeah, for the Mythic Legions line, it's now fully funded, having surpassed the 2,000 units, which is extremely small to get something done. So that's great that if there's 2,000 people really wanted it. They had the access to get it. Normally they jump a higher number like 5,000, but this is really nice if you really wanted that. But it just made the 2,000 unit mark, which means that he's insured to enter production. Great news. As of this morning, which I actually got this morning on Friday, March 21st. As of this morning, as we stand at 2044. So more excitement in it. That's 82% of the way towards the first stretch goal unlock, Sir Benegar upgrade set at the 2,500 units. The fiery breath, which comes with fiery breath, 2 different heads. And this also makes him extend out to 6 feet because he's 4 feet without the breath. But if you add that on, that's 6 feet of like giant dragon. So, wow, man, this is amazing. But that fiery breath set is at 1117 units, so which is 88% of what they need to hit at the 1250 stretch goal unlock. And the epic wings, which he has his standard wings are kind of like folded in, but the epic wings also, again, you may have to just build a room and start charging him actual rent because he's going to take up and out with this dragon's huge. Epic wing set inches closer to being funded as it stands of now 898 sold, which is 90% of the minimum needed for this set to enter production. Now, here's the thing. I know that 1, 2, 3, 4 people are buying this dragon in this room. And Crooked Smiles has just said he did say this on Toy Box Chronicles this week. He is willing to trade. If anybody out there buys a double dragon, or you just
I got you, Richard.
okay,
I got you.
This trade's right here, locked and loaded, and he didn't even need Toy Hunter to make the trade.
No,
Hey,
I got
here's the thing, Rad. I might go in half with you on that, so we can like have the barge hang out at each of our house because I really want that barge. But
no. I got the barge, but it's definitely in your photo garage, so we could shoot like a full Star Wars theme. Like, dude, it could go all out.
Studio 112 FX.
That's right.
Doing things. Meeks, that dragon is epic.
Hey, I will say this. I will say this.
Yeah.
Follow the channel, because if you're a Mythic Legions fans, we got some stuff in the works. That's all I'm gonna say, folks. We got some things upcoming around Mythic Legions. So 4 Horsemen doing it. This is gonna get to 2,500. The loyalty of this brand is crazy. And you know what I appreciate the most? I'm just gonna say this, and I'm not a shill here. I'm just saying I'm a fan. I think one thing that I really appreciate about this brand is that if they catch you as a reseller underselling the value of the figures, they pull your license.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. That is nice.
Which I really love. That's the way it should be. And I think that, because it's a premium brand, the work, the effort that's put in, and, they're premium figures. They're not $250 outside of the Dragon, obviously, but an average at $45, $50 a pop. Like, I love the protection of the figures. It's art. And I think about, this group and how we're all thinking about toys, man. It's just genuinely appreciative. So I'm glad it funded, not just for the excitement of having my own Dragon, but, for something like this where a small company can fund a HasLab-like toy. And that's badass, man. That's badass.
Yeah, and I'll pass that same sentiment on to you. I like when I like the underdog. I like the little guy on the market. And this could have been done like Super 7 actually has done something that's ambitious. Hasbro, Mattel has tried a couple of times. And, it's normally for like, you've got like, corporate boards and everything else. And these guys were like, no, we're gonna do something because we think the fans will want it. And they set it at a very realistic goal to meet just in case it was a fringe item. And I'm telling you, if it does not get past the 5,000 or 6,000 mark, you're never gonna see it for that price. It's gonna be triple that price one day down the line. This is a future Grail. You're gonna go to somebody's house and it's gonna be like the dragon's got like a gold mic in his hand and he's dropping it because you're gonna wish that you got this dragon because you're not gonna see something like this again. So I love that.
If you've got this like hanging out on your coffee table or something, when people walk in, they're going to be like, oh, what the hell is this? And then they'll just sit and admire it for a couple of minutes before anything happens. It is the kind of thing that just makes people they're drawn to it. So beautiful.
Yeah.
Before they called it the name, just to Chet's point, the original name was Steve Fang Foom, but they decided they were going to go with the other name. It was too close.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
It was Steve Fang Foom. So,
Quicker Smile says unmatched quality is what Four Horsemen is known for.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
absolutely right, man. And it's cool. And you know what? This is one of those things where, because it's so epic, and we know somebody that has like several grails at this house, Mr. Scott Solo. And I almost want to just I wish I had the extra funds just to buy him a dragon so this could sit on top of the flag with the barge to the back of Boulder Hill.
Yeah, he's gonna put the barge on the USS Flag with Boulder Hill, and then he's gonna have the Defiant flying out of whatever.
It does work. Well, like I said, from Four Horsemen, credit to you guys. Can't wait to see you guys at Toy Atlanta. They will be there as well. And we've heard that the dragon will be there too. Now, I've never seen it. I think if you went to Legion Con, you got to see him in person. I'm looking forward to seeing this piece in person, man. So from them, we move on to something else and everything. That's right. Something Strange is headed to San Diego Comic-Con 2025. That is right. The real Ghostbusters. Now, a lot of people understand there's two set of Ghostbusters. There's the Ghostbusters that was Deke, and they also had an actual live action animated show. And then they had the Ghostbusters, and how our fine people at Columbia got screwed them, said our cartoon would be called The Real Ghostbusters. To keep that name right there. But they always had some strange characters once they moved out of the initial four. And this is another one that they're going to reissue. The Real Ghostbusters Ecto Glow Heroes Collector Set, featuring all four Ghostbusters with glow-in-the-dark deco, gear, and ghosts. This is a San Diego Comic-Con 2025 exclusive. Brings back the ghost hunting legends in a luminous style, and you can see both different styles. So if you can't get the Cold Sliver 4-pack from the people over at Hasbro, well, Hasbro's giving you something else you can get. You can go for this pack. So there's going to be a lot of toy hunting at San Diego Comic-Con. Chad, is this on your radar, the Real Ghostbusters? I don't see a firehouse at your house. So were you into this line?
It was fun. But I've said this before. I love Ghostbusters. I just don't know where you go with it. And you have to be a very specific collector. And I do love Ghostbusters. I think it's fantastic, but this isn't something I'm going to pick up at all. Besides, it's not as toxic, but it's not as toxic as the original ones were. So there's no point.
Mm-hmm. Those are still glowing after 40 years.
Yeah, I mean, probably even bigger than they were before.
What about you, Rad? Any Real Ghostbusters going up, or the past?
No, I'm good. The only set that I've been interested in that I haven't picked up is the O-ring set that they released. I thought that was pretty cool, but I didn't pick it up. I just love that it's like the DVD style packaging. No, not interested in this. Love Ghostbusters, but never been a toy collector of the line.
Okay.
I also want to mention that it is at San Diego Comic-Con, which, unless you have $400 laying around for the weekend just for the tickets, I don't know very many people that are going this year, to be honest.
Well, that's on top of the $10,000 for hotel space.
But that's the Motel 6 and Hotel Circle.
Now, I've heard that you can go south over the border, extract a kidney, and come back, and they'll give you free room and board. But
oh, well, I wish I knew that.
Yeah, you got to do something. But now here's the thing. See, this is where I think you're wrong, Chet. Now I know we've done a show for almost close to 60 weeks comparably, but I think I know you well, man, and I know you're a Ghostbuster fan. So don't blow this smoke that you're not, because we all know that you are. And in fact, the reason why I know this is I come with evidence and everything. That's right, sir. What did you do, Chet? What did you do? It's a Stay Puft King.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of two of my semi-favorite shows.
A few years back, illustrator designer SNZ Toys delivered a nostalgia-fueled mashup crossing the streams with a retro homage to both Ghostbusters and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, reimagining Krang with a softer, puffier, and slightly more adorable look, while his robotic body adapts the sailor-themed aesthetics of Gozer's destroyer form. Standing at 8 inches tall, this supersized stylized collectible and art piece will soon be available through the upcoming Kickstarter campaign. So head over to SNZ Toys on Instagram and check out the information right there. But I know you love these Kangs, and I know one's sitting in your toy closet. Is this a Kang that you're going to add in, Mr. Maddox?
Yes. Yes, it is. Also, if you know anything about me, I really love vinyl figures. So anything that's like artistic vinyl toys usually ends up in my house. And
Okay.
this is very much TMNT influenced, and I have a spending problem with TMNT. So
I think everybody on this panel has a spending problem.
Now, the one thing that they should do is a scale model of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man that goes with the little O-ring figures.
they made that, and
They made, and it was full size, like actually that big
for scale for O-ring figures. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Well, that's
And they probably didn't, but I'm assuming they did because I remember having it. It was gigantic.
like I said, I'm definitely getting for my brother. All right, Crooked Smiles. All right. Well, that's different and everything. So again, yeah, you're gonna have to go over to it's an independent toy right here and everything else like that. Hope no stop desist comes from this scenario. I don't know if you got the license to do this, but we'll see. And maybe it's just enough of a matchup. But it's
Can you imagine? They're just
yeah,
like he gets a cease and desist from TMNT and Ghostbusters.
well, hey, they got the right to do it.
This looks like very much like, hey, Chat GPT, give me an acid trip between TMT and Ghostbusters. And this is what they designed. And they're like, run it through the printer. And that's how I know that's going to be on Chet's shelf. So there you go.
I exactly knew. The minute I saw this today, I added that story today. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get him on this one." He was like, "No, I'm not a Ghostbuster fan." Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy that.
see, I know when I'm in Toyland, I'm gonna be walking by. I'm like, that is the weirdest freaking figure ever. And then within 10 seconds later, like, no, that's already been sold to that gentleman over there at the podcast booth. Like, oh, him, Chet? Yeah. He's already got it on hold.
I'm gonna have to take off. This podcast is getting a little aggressive right now on me. But you're correct.
Yeah. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of tonight's SKN News.
Now, there is a little live update we have that a little sad.
Oh, no. Oh.
George Foreman has passed away.
Wow. Yeah,
Rest in
that's
peace,
a
man.
big loss. Big loss.
Big personality, amazing boxing. I'll never forget. When did he win it? I think he was almost like, how old was he? Like almost 50 or something?
Well, no, I remember it was like he was 40 or something and getting back into boxing. Mm-hmm. And that was like a crazy old age. And now that I'm like 50, I'm like, oh, that's not so old.
And then obviously the George Foreman grills, man. If you didn't have one of those, that was like,
got one downstairs.
Yeah, no lie. There's that and actual George Foreman grill, barbecue grill. So sad loss. Smart businessman outside of boxing, though, because a lot of these guys end up completely broke, and he just had the right knack of certain things. He was an avid pitch man, and I think he did come. He came through one time, and this will tell you some age. When I was younger, I worked at Fat Burger, and it was in Manhattan Beach, California. And George Foreman came through the door, and he ordered the King Burger. And there was a challenge that not too many people could have. It was crazy concoction, the King Burger. And George was the person that actually beat that challenge. And he came in one day and ordered a bunch of burgers. Nice guy. Seemed like very down to earth, very presentable. It didn't seem like he was a star at all. So it's a massive loss for us. But thank you, Richard, for bringing that to our notice, man. But we got some things going on here. And again, if we're going to tell you right now, if you haven't subscribed and hit that button and get the likes up and everything. And if you like what you're seeing, make sure that you hit us every Friday night at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, Cricket Smiles. How about the GI Joe Spirit comic book spinoff? I haven't heard about that one yet, brother, but I'm pretty sure on the Tribunal he'll give it to me. Hey, Commander Blythe. Like I said, he's first and he's last. We got some fine events going on. We've been talking about Toy Atlanta, and guess what? We will be at Toy Atlanta, and that's next week, actually. So don't worry, Pixel Plastic and Ink will still be on that Friday. Just be 3 of the members sitting in Duluth, Georgia, while Dr. Brentley and Richard from KS Collectibles will be handling in the SKN studios here in Southern California. So, Dr. Brentley said he wouldn't go to a convention unless they were gonna do the whole flight scenario, and I told him they're not gonna stock a bar like that anymore, bro. Come on.
First class or nothing.
I know, it's like they're not gonna do that. But we will be there at the Odd Frog Entertainment / Bandito 112 FM radio. If you're not watching Bandito or listening to Bandito radio, then I don't know what you are. It's an actual toy radio station that is for the toy photographers, toy customizers, and toy enthusiasts. And it's got a lot of great artists. And there's a podcast. Chet, there's a podcast on there too, right?
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, no, there is a very interesting podcast called Action Figure Frequencies, and it is Thunderous Storm himself along with me. And every week we pump them out live, and you get to see them. And also, if you want to see the video version of them, well, you got to be a subscriber to our YouTube channel for 99 cents. And I know Commander Bly, he is still walking to that keyboard, so I'm looking forward to when he actually gets there.
That is right. But we will be March 28th through the 30th. We will be live streaming. That's right, live streaming the entire weekend long. So make sure you check out the channel.
Rad's looking sus because he is, dude. He's on his way to go see Snow White.
No, I'm already at Toy Atlanta. I'm right outside the convention a week early. I'm scouting it out, man. We're getting ready out here. Getting it. Hey, one thing's for sure. One thing, I'll be there live. I might get some mic time, but I got to get everything ready for Mr. Storm and Chet Maddox. They want the red carpet shit, so I got to get here a week in advance to roll it out. So that's my job. I got to drive I got to drive the big WWE truck and set up all the lighting and stuff. Right. So that's that's what I'm doing.
Now remember, just remember, Chet does red M&Ms. I do only yellow. Damn it.
Yeah, they got an actual rider and everything. So we didn't have the budget for first class. That's why Dr. Brandley last rolling up. So sorry, we couldn't put the private charter in play for this one, but maybe for future shows.
And actually, I saw Commander Bly, Recon Rad. That's actually a trooper that would probably be able to win the March Madness over at Blitz Transmission. Trooper, a clone trooper of the month kind of thing that he's running, a little bracket over there. But yeah, we'll definitely be there. We'll be live streaming all the day. So make sure you check with the channel to get that exclusive coverage, because guess what? Nobody else is doing it. So we had to do it. And from there, May the 4th, that's right. People say that it's supposed to be Star Wars Day, but it's not, because in the city of Temecula, California, they call that the wine country of Southern California. There's one up north, there's one down here. It's going to be the SoCal Joe Show on May the 4th in the city of Temecula. And it's not going to be myself, Rad, Dr. Brentley outside of the studio. And then you'll have, of course, obviously, the once you've got to see them larger than life will always exceed your expectations. Chet Maddox, and Commander Blythe says booting up the laptop to sub now.
We got to wait and see how long it takes to power on, though. You never know what kind of laptop he has.
And then also the Master Customizer, Retail Supreme, Mr. Richard over at KS Collectibles will be in the very next booth to us. And he's going to bring some exclusive items, some exclusive vintage Joe items from the 80s, things that he does not necessarily want to ship out. So you can come there and get it in person, because this man has a stockpile of stuff that he always brings. So it's going to be cool to see that.
And for those of you that don't know, KS Collectibles and Richard are kind of the head of the Studio 112 effects.
Yes.
And may or may not have some of our props and things that we use in the photos, which we'll soon be putting up. But we've been doing a lot of recon and a lot of like a back work to get a good backlog going. But yeah, it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be great. All kinds of goodies you'll be bringing. And if you watch our latest podcast, the Tribunal, a GI Joe collectors podcast, and everything, Richard will exclusively put those items up the week before we actually attend that SoCal Joe show, and you'll be able to see anything, and actually, might be able to do the little claim in the comments right there if you want something. And the Tribunal actually is premieres on Friday for all channel members. And then at 10 a.m. on Saturday, so you can go your weekend, Yo Joe. And there's a little segment down there that Dr. Brentley's doing for it called You Don't Know Joe. And a person who I have tried to drag to G.I. Joe conventions and all kind of things over the years, he's actually going to start watching some of the Real American Hero TV shows and miniseries and everything else. And we're going to see if we can convert the non-Joe fan into a Joe fan, damn it. That's what we're going to try to do.
We'll see. I'm actually going to do it this weekend, I think. So we'll see how it goes.
Better get it in. And then later on that day, in the Appa Valley, California, the high desert, as we call it out here, the Sarlacc Digest podcast channel will have a Star Wars Day event. So you're going to do Yo Joe in the beginning of the day, and then you're going to a galaxy not that far away to the Appa Valley. Unless you live on the East Coast, then it is that far away. But they're going to have all kind of things. It's got a bar called Better Days. It's going to be Star Wars trivia, and they better be studying their trivia for this docu-series that we're going to do right here, debate series, because we're going to be bringing the thunder, so they might need a refresher. And there's going to be Star Wars themed drinks and everything else. So, keep watching channel here or watch over at Sarlacc Digest podcast to see information on that. And one last item that you have an opportunity, and actually the little Keebler elves that we got working 24 hours a day, and they are working 24 hours a day. They've got the 2025 SKN/Toy Box Chronicles exclusive Toy Atlanta t-shirt, and it is live right now. You can head over to the Shadow Nose Network, Shadow with an E at the back of it, nosenetwork.com, and you can actually purchase the 2025 Toy Atlanta exclusive shirt for the channel. And it's limited, and it's also limited quantities. And Chet, did you fall back on how many is going to be let out into the world?
300, my friend.
Okay. All right. So you got 290. Oh, Commander
Bly found the keyboard. I appreciate you, sir.
Commander Bly. First and last, and all kind of things. It's like, just remember the channel. Thanks for the support. Thanks, Commander Bly. So yeah, and while you're over there, Commander Bly, make sure you get your Toy Atlanta shirt, everything else like that. Chet Maddox is going to give you a discount code for that, everything, for being a channel member too, because that's one of the perks of being a channel member. Now, here's the thing: when you go to Toy Atlanta, you will see myself, Mr. Maddox, and Rad. You've got your 2025 exclusive shirt, right?
Yes, sir. I got some exclusive merchandise that I'm ready to rock and roll at Toy Atlanta, including a Tribunal sweater, man. I'm excited to rock it. I'm excited to rock it out. Chad Maddox was there with me. I had to order my Tribunal. So big kudos to Mr. Storm and Richard, KS Collectibles. As someone who grew up on Joe's and collected Joe's, I love the nostalgia of that show. So check it out, and I'm happy to represent one of the best new shows on SKN.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
And I'm rolling out there with a crap load of Toylanta exclusive stickers with this logo on it that you can only get by taking a picture with me.
Well, that line's going to be, now wait a minute, Chet, you can't do that because that line's going to be around the block. So, like, what happens if there's not enough stickers to give to everybody? Because your fans normally, like he didn't say Chet Maddox Knowledge Storm. I have no fans. No one's going to pick stickers up. Everybody bypasses me to say, can I take a picture with Chet? And I'm like, yeah, because he is rad and he's one of the best. He's the personality. He's the free agent on the channel. But, like I said, I hope you brought a crap load, man, because every convention we go to, that's at least, like, just walking in the door, that's like 70, 80 people, bro. So,
hey, Hey, I'm just happy with the lines that might be happening on the booth that Jim Lee's not in the building because I don't want to piss him off for a second time.
Well, we don't know that yet, right? So,
We don't know that.
No, we do know that because he is over at WonderCon with Tom McFarlane,
WonderCon.
so he will be in Atlanta. So we know he will be
Stupid.
there. Also, Cricket Small says they asked Alex to take the picture. They do, brother. They actually do. You know, but hey, it's a humble price to pay when you're with a superstar with you all the time. So, like I said, you know, make sure you guys are checking out all of our socials over at Instagram and X, and you can find us on Rumble and all kind of things. Information is leaked all the time. There's a lot of people that work their butts off behind the scenes, and we're just blessed to have them there. And we're looking to have a great time at Toy Atlanta, especially with Odd Frog and David Vonner and everything. It's just gonna be a great time, and really looking forward. So next week, that coverage is gonna be really insane. And while Toy Box Chronicles that Wednesday night, because we will be making the trek across country, that will be recorded, but we will be live in the chat to go along with that. And also, I think I wrote Richard into doing that as well. So, you know, gentlemen, like I said, that is all my stickler. And I know Mr. Maddox and Mr. Rad have some things to do, but that's it for me.
I'm good, man. I'm excited. Yeah, as you said, check the channel. Lots of content for next weekend. But I'm excited to be there live, and excited to get to mingle with the folks we know and the folks we don't know, vendors and toys, and you know, it's one of the best shows in the entire world, and a lot of great independent toy companies will be there. So I'm stoked, man. And you know, maybe I shouldn't tease this, but one thing in particular that I'm excited about that I don't think we've announced is the After Dark special. More to come. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. Toylanta After Dark. What does that mean? You'll have to stay tuned. You'll have to stay tuned.
You mean a multitude of things, a couple of misdemeanors and felonies at this point.
You never know. You never know.
Whatever works. It's all for the love of the sport. So
it's for the kids. It's for the kids.
It's all for the kids. Hey, look. So we want to thank you all for hanging out an extra 17 minutes. But the way this is going, we're your nonstop one spot on Friday nights, and we appreciate you every time showing up, hanging out with us. We couldn't have asked for a better audience. So to all the 220,000 of you watching, we love you, and you don't have to go home, but you can't stay on our channel. So until next time, this has been Pixel Plastic Inc.
Incoming transmission.
There's a new show headed to Bandito Radio. Action Figure Frequencies with your hosts, Chet Maddox and Alexander Storm. All the talk on action figures you crave. Only on 112 FM Bandito Radio.